I have become death, the destroyer of worlds. It's Robert J. Oppenheimer. Robert J. Oppenheimer is going to quote Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita or whatever. Ukrainians are passing out pistols at the Capitol. The citizens of Ukraine are just, the government just passing out pistols to, that's just like Switzerland, isn't it? That's just like Switzerland. When push comes to shove, they think that they're attacking the government of Ukraine. They're actually they're attacking the whole damn nation. They're attacking the whole damn nation. The citizens of Ukraine know that. That's why they're taking them pistols. Comedian Jon Stewart expressed admiration and respect for Vladimir Zelensky. Zelensky was a successful comedian before becoming the Ukrainian president. Jon Stewart would be a fantastic president for America. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. And you, my friend, are no Jack Kennedy. So, NATO. I'm going to start out. I would love to debate Jackson Hinkle or Haas or, Bad Empanada or whoever wants to debate me on this. Just because I like the exchange of ideas, and then in the great pool of ideas, the best ideas should prevail. And it would be interesting to see what, people who are in favor of war with Russia versus people who are against war with Russia, where they would concede. Where would they say that the other side has strengths? And so I'm going to start out with the concessions. I say, fuck Russia, fuck them Russian, Rusky motherfucking rat bastard motherfuckers. That's my position. And so therefore, because I'm in favor of, war with Russia over the invasion of Ukraine, yeah, you're goddamn right. I have a right to defend myself and defend others. I have a right to defend myself and defend my goddamn neighbor. You're goddamn right I do. But when we start out with the concessions, when I say, okay, to be against the war, that's generally the right, you don't want to get into other people's business. You don't want to meddle. You don't want to get into... So when I point out the strengths of the other side's arguments, I just think that would be, anyways. Concessions. NATO has been terrible. Libya, Kosovo, Yugoslavia, Afghanistan. Okay, yeah, we overthrew Libya, but what? Slavery is there. Kosovo, Yugoslavia. That has been such a shit show. I don't even really know what the fuck is going on over there, but it doesn't seem right. Afghanistan, 20 years of bullshit in Afghanistan. What we do in Afghanistan, for 20 years, we pretended to give a damn about freedom and democracy, but in the end, we just gave the Taliban our wealth and our weapons. Here you go, Taliban. You want our wealth and weapons? Go right ahead. What was the fucking point? 9/11 America? Some stupid motherfuckers. 9/11 America were some stupid motherfuckers. What? Saudi Arabia, Al-Qaeda just attacked us took down the Twin Towers. So 9/11 America is going to attack two sovereign nations, Afghanistan and Iraq, neither of which are Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia attacked us. Well, we need to attack Afghanistan. Why? The Iraq invasion created an Al-Qaeda problem. Hadn't been there before. So Afghanistan, Yugoslavia, Kosovo, Libya, NATO, over and over and over again has just been fucking failing. And then, they promised, Germany, they're not going to go past Germany, East Germany, right? And here, what? Now we're going to pretend that Estonia and Latvia are countries now? We're going to pretend that all these nations on the Eastern Bloc, by the Iron Curtain, we're going to pretend that they're actually sovereign nations. They're not we're going to pretend that they're not sovereign nations. Which one are we? So NATO said that they weren't going to go past the damn thing, but here they're in Afghanistan. That's way fucking past the damn thing. Many of America's military adventures have ended in folly. So is U.S. imperialism the answer? Joe Biden's coup d'etat in Haiti. Joe Biden's barely fucking functionable. He's got dementia, fucking cretin. And he's coup d'etat in Haiti. What the fuck does Joe Biden know about freedom and democracy? Gonna coup d'etat a president. Shot that president right through the fucking eye. His attack on the pro-U.S. family in Afghanistan. He should be impeached over that shit. We got out of Afghanistan, but we got attacked right before we got out. So Joe Biden just went ahead and killed a pro-American family, a family who loved us. But they were, getting water from work, and we said, well, that must be bomb supplies, and we killed the shit out of them. So he should, the Fuhrer, the goddamn American president, should be impeached for that shit. Killing innocent people in Afghanistan, killing innocent people in Haiti. You can't kill innocent people. One country shouldn't invade another country. Right is right, wrong is wrong. America is still occupying Iraq. It's been nearly 20 years. I think Saddam Hussein is dead. I think we got the bastard. We're still occupying Germany. I think Hitler's dead. What, about 77 years now? Hitler has been dead for about 77 years now. Saddam Hussein, he's been dead for about 20 years now. So maybe U.S. imperialism isn't the answer, right? But then maybe a rainbow coalition of South American nations. That's something I'd support. I'd also go to Ukraine and fight this war by my goddamn self. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Don't rob or rape. Don't steal. Don't rob or rape. Don't murder. Don't invade sovereign nations. Treat others the way you want to be treated. It's called the golden rule. It's incredible that all these motherfucking Iraq war bullies won't stand up for Ukraine. America's a bully, so why do you care if Putin's a bully? What is the fucking point of being the biggest, baddest bully on the fucking block that you won't stand up to a fucking bully that's hurting somebody else? What the fuck is the point of that? We could save America. We can win hearts and minds. We can make up for that Iraq mistake. We can make up for Libya and Kosovo and Afghanistan and all these fucking blunders by actually doing what's right and good and proper. Motherfuckers say, well, you got to go into Iraq because someone's got to stop Saddam Hussein from hurting his own people because you love the Iraqi people so much. Then you must love the Ukrainian people. You must love the Ukrainian people. And you're going to go and fight for them. Why not, you fucking hypocrite? So, I don't like war. I'm against war. I've been opposed to the, damn Iraq invasion for quite some time. But guess what? Iraq's doing okay. The occupation has still been going strong. So, the opposition to the Iraq war hasn't stopped the fucking Iraq war. Hasn't won me any friends either. But it's just, what a bunch of fucking hypocrites. What a bunch of fucking hypocrites. I think staying out of, other people's affairs is a good general rule of thumb, but the same principle, U.S. shouldn't have, invaded Iraq without the United Nations approval. Because one nation cannot invade another nation. One sovereign nation state cannot invade another sovereign nation state. That's the whole point of the United Nations. That's the whole point of the greatest generation. The greatest generation gave us the greatest legacy. So America is an empire. 900 military bases all across the world in 150 countries. We're an empire, along with the other 4 members of the United Nations Security Council. So U.S. is an empire along with China and Russia and the United Kingdom and France. That's the world order that we live in. The United Security Council, they got veto power. So essentially, those nuclear superpowers can do as the fuck as they want. Those nuclear armed superpowers can do as the fuck as they want. Because the only world body that's functionable, the United Nations, if they, don't get together in America or they don't, those 4 members of the Security Council could veto. When the entire world condemns something, any one of those members of the UN Security Council could just veto it, which is what we saw, with Russia. Russia chaired the damn thing. You have Ukraine being like, hey, don't invade my country. And Russia's like, well, I veto that decision. So those are the concessions. NATO's always been terrible. Many of America's military adventures have ended in folly. And I can't stand war. I can't stand war. But to be honest, if you're not pushing, let's assume Putin just gets out or something. We're pushing for this, or I'm pushing for standing up. I think that this injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. If my neighbor is being robbed and raped and murdered, and I don't do a goddamn thing about it, because it ain't my business, ain't none of my business. It's only a matter of time before that motherfucker goes to, the house is on down the line. So You have to confront evil. You have to confront evil. The limits of tyranny, the limits of evil, the limits of oppression is prescribed by the oppressors and their endurance and their willingness to stand up for what is right. Evil exists when good men do nothing. So, those are my concessions. Now, my counterpoints. I don't believe America is all bad. I don't believe all, I think that a lot of people look to America for leadership. I saw the Australia saying, we look to America for leadership. We want America to stand up and say, enough is enough. And when America does it, the rest of the fucking world will join our sides. Of course, when it came to World War II, we waited 2 years before the beginning of those hostilities. 2 years? The fucking war began and millions are dying because what? We want to save some bankers some money? Anne Frank is going to go into the concentration camp. American troops get there 2 months too late. She's already dead. She, starved to death, caught syphilis. I don't know if she syphilis, if she died of the syphilis or died of the starvation or if they just gassed the fuck out of her. And how come nobody stood up for Anne Frank? There was other Jewish people. He saved his own skin and turned the Anne Frank family in. And so instead of people standing up for the Jewish victims, instead of people starting a justice brigade and the citizens saying enough is enough, what happened? You had all the, so-called good people just basically turning on each other, not doing shit, not standing up and just turning on each other. So, yeah, I would love a rainbow coalition of South American nations. I would go there and fight for myself. I think Ukraine is a nation state. It's always been a nation state, so I would fight and die for the Ukrainian people. You're goddamn right I would. 44 souls. There's 44 million souls in Ukraine. So my counterpoints. What are my counterpoints? I don't like war. I'm opposed to all these stupid-ass American imperialist bullshit we've been doing over and over again. So what the fuck am I talking about? Like I said, this is a good way to win hearts and minds. And I feel like sometimes people just don't want, Joe Biden to stand up to Ukraine because it's the right, correct policy. He's going to look strong and then, using the military for this and that. I don't give a shit about none of that. I don't give a shit about any of that. Putin is doing this fucking bullshit. He's taking advantage of whatever. I don't know what kind of situation he thinks he's taking advantage of. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And if Joe Biden stands up on the side of right, good. Good. If Joe Biden doesn't stand up on the side of right, then fuck him. So, my counterpoints are this. We've done some terrible things, but people still like us. I heard George Bush had a 70% approval rating in Africa. A lot of people in Africa were naming their babies after George Bush. Baby Bush. People still like us. If we don't defend Ukraine, then we got to pack the whole damn thing up and just come home. We're not supporting our allies. Our military is totally defunct and pointless. We can't even defend fucking Ukraine. Ukraine is, the second biggest country in Europe. It's the sixth most populous country in Europe. If we're not going to defend Ukraine, we're not going to defend Europe. And if we're not going to defend Europe, we're not going to defend anybody in the entire world. We're not going to defend fucking Haiti. We're not going to defend Mexico or Canada. We're not going to defend anybody. We're just a goddamn emperor, just, an empire just for empire's sake. So this is a good moment to win hearts and minds, to correct the record, to actually, for the U.S. military, the damn empire, to do something good. Okay? Maybe America's been a cop, and the cop has been going around shooting people, thinking they're doing good, but let's give the best. But you failed. America, you're the world's policeman, and you suck. You suck at being the world's policeman. Now you're watching Russia fuck over Ukraine. Ukraine didn't do shit to Russia. So what the fuck is Russia doing in Ukraine? It's oppression. It's aggression. It's murder. It's bloodshed. So, if we don't defend Ukraine, I think there's three positions. We're either isolationist, we're the empire, or we have a bunch of embassies and we start, treating the world as equals and turning our military bases into U.S. embassies. Those are the three choices. You want to pack it all up and come on home, America? You know what? Leave the rest of the world to fend for themselves? My God, I've been waiting for you to say that for a long ass time. We should have an orderly withdrawal, take 6 months to a year or some shit. Yeah, let's just defend our borders. We got problems here in this country, and we suck at being the world's policemen. So I'm, halfway for it. But if you're going to sit there and not say we need to fight Ukraine because those rat bastards are doing some bad shit, it's like you're trying to push America over the edge. It's like you're an accelerationist. You're just trying to create as much fucking chaos so it all fucking collapses. And these pieces of shit are doing it online on the internet. So you like this internet? You like the internet that you keep on bitching about? You like this American internet? You keep bitching about America, but you're doing it on American internet. So NATO has been awful sometimes, but overall, in a way, NATO has been an incredible major success. In some respects, Iraq has been a success. You had Ron Yakalik that said we shouldn't have got out of Afghanistan, we should have got out of Iraq because Iraq is doing good. It seems, seemingly stable and secure. It seems like it's functioning. Iraq has been successful, but we got out of Afghanistan because we got our asses kicked. But in terms of who was ready, for American forces to leave, the Iraqi people, that they were ready for us to leave. In Afghanistan, people are grabbing onto our ships and our airplanes and shit. Grabbing onto the wheel of an airplane and then falling to their damn deaths. So the USSR doesn't exist anymore. Some people say that NATO doesn't actually have an actual purpose because of that. The USSR, after 1990, why do we have NATO? What is NATO still doing here? Well, that's the whole point of NATO is to keep Russia at bay, to make sure Russia doesn't become an imperialist, make sure they don't go for their empire dreams. So in that respect, NATO's been an incredible success. And yeah, maybe they changed their purpose, and that's stupid. Just stay the same purpose. Stop Russian imperialism. Stop Chinese imperialism. Stop stop imperialism. Just make the entire world get along with one another. No, motherfucking Moldova. Moldova, you got to get along with Germany. And Germany, you got to get along with Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe, you got to get along with Argentina. So NATO accomplished their goal 100%. NATO accomplished their goal. NATO stopped Russian aggression. NATO stopped Russian imperialism up until recently. So I don't like war. I want war to stop, and I think that, you have to stand up and fight to stop. If that person, you got a criminal motherfucker that just went to your neighbor's house and is sitting there terrorizing your neighbors, you didn't stand up and say shit then because you're not a good person and you don't know right from wrong. And it's scary to stand up, against criminal motherfuckers, dangerous criminal motherfuckers. But right is right and wrong is wrong. So NATO is a success story. So has the Iraq War. People are still bitching about it 20-something years later. Nobody was more against the Iraq. If you're seriously against the Iraq War, how come we're still in Iraq? Jesus Christ. We only got out of Afghanistan because the Taliban kicked our ass, not because of the liberals, not because of the opposition party in America. Okay, so U.S. imperialism might not be the answer. NATO has fucked up, but NATO's also been super successful. The U.S. shouldn't plan to stay in any nation. We shouldn't occupy any nation. There should always be a presumption of non-occupation. It's their country. If they say we need to leave, we need to go. And so we need to make sure that we always have won their hearts and minds over so we can, have a U.S. embassy and, establish trade and whatnot. I think America saving Ukraine will help fix the Iraq fuck up. Saving Ukraine actually wins hearts and minds. Saving Ukraine shows the world that we truly care about freedom and democracy. We actually believe in the principles that we're talking about. We're not just making up a bunch of principles to tyrannize the rest of the world and dominate and exploit them. We care about republics. We care about nation states. We care about republics. And though Ben Franklin said we're a republic, people are so, adamant about that. Okay, you care about a republic? Well, Putin is attacking a republic. He's turning his republic into an empire, so he doesn't respect republics. Putin doesn't respect republics. He's against democracy. He's a 23-year dictator. Every fucking, election, he's been a cheating, except for maybe the first one, but every fucking election's been a bunch of bullshit. Putin is a totalitarian, fascist, authoritarian dictator. He hates freedom and democracy. George Washington was president for 8 years. FDR was president for 12 years. But Putin is going to be fucking dictator for 23 goddamn years. So this is incredible that, essentially the world's democratic nations are standing up against an aggressor, a totalitarian fascist aggressor. So this is an easy opportunity, an easy win for America. The U.S. hasn't done a good job, so just go conquer the Russians and then get the fuck out. Establish a UN peacekeeping force and then get the fuck out. Don't occupy Ukraine. Don't stay in Ukraine. Just go through Ukraine like crap goes through a goose. Just like that actor when he was playing, Douglas MacArthur? No, it was... Who was that general? Like crap through a goose. George Patton. That's what Patton said. When we were fighting the Nazis, we weren't trying to take all the, countries that the Nazis had taken over. We just wanted to defeat the Nazis. Go after the Nazis. Chase the Nazis. Grab them by the grab them by the nose and kick their asses wherever the fuck they go. We're not trying to take territory. We're just trying to defeat this army. So we got to defeat the Russian army. We're not going to try to keep Ukraine. Let Ukraine keep themselves. Ukraine is their own nation. Self-determination says they have a right to determine for themselves what kind of nation they want to be. So if we don't defend Ukraine, yeah, we have to pack it up. This empire is fucking pointless. We're sitting in, Niger and Nigeria and all these countries all over the world. We're sitting in Cameroon. There's Ambazonia right there in Cameroon. We care about separatists. We care about people that are trying to fight for their... What about the goddamn genocide, right? And motherfucking Cameroon. You know where the U.S. troops are in Cameroon? They're on the side of the dictator. He's been a dictator for 30 to 40 fucking years. Are we defending the separatists? Are we fighting for Ambazonia? No. How come? They speak English. We understand the people of Ambazonia better than we understand the people of Cameroon. Why would we not support? But then we're going to sit there. People are going to pretend that Donetsk and Luhansk, these regions are worthy of fighting for. Russia can invade Ukraine to get Donetsk and Luhansk. If Donetsk and Luhansk are worthy of fighting and dying for, then how come Ukraine, the entire nation of Ukraine, is not? One's 44 million people. The other is just, a handful or two. So I like the Ukrainian patriots fighting for their country and their lives. You see, the goddamn Republican... Fucking Donald Trump Republicans, they want to fucking attack America. They want to burn America down to the ground. So that's what they do, right? January 6th, patriots, they fought against this country for one man. They fought for a single man. But the patriots in Ukraine, they're not fighting for a single man. They're fighting for themselves, their families. They're fighting for their nation. They're fighting for their people. So yes, NATO's been terrible. America's has been terrible. I don't like war, but we're a war machine, right? We're a military-industrial complex. We're an oil company with the military. And we're not going to use our military for good? We're just going to use it to steal people's oil? You don't think that's going to piss off the whole fucking world? Are you trying to get the entire fucking world to destroy us? You couldn't stop Congress. You couldn't run for Congress and become a member of Congress and cut the purse strings yourself? So instead of doing it, the proper way, instead of doing it the democratic way, you just want our enemies, the world's enemies, to take us down? You think the world with Putin at the helm is better? Like, I don't want U.S. imperialism running shit. I definitely don't want Putin You know, if I had to compare and contrast Putin imperialism with American imperialism, yeah, our presidents have continued the fucking empire and the occupation and shit. Putin has been an anti fucking, freedom and democracy piece of shit the entire time. He's a dictator. So you could say George Bush was terrible. Yeah, he's awful. Clinton and all the rest of them. But we've had a turnover of presidents. We've had Clinton, and then we've had Bush, and then we had Obama, and then we had, who the fuck, Mitt Romney or whoever. So we've had a turnover of presidents. Our democracy actually goddamn functions. So which imperialism do I want? I mean, okay, I guess I'm biased in favor of my own. And this isn't imperialism. Fighting and defending Ukraine is just that we're an empire. So we're already the bully on the block. It's like we're the police officer. And not only is it our neighbors that's getting hurt, but we're the police officer and we got our police uniform and we got our police car. And the criminals, they got, just the Hamburglar mask on, just being clear as day with a bag that's got a money sign on it, right? Just being criminal motherfuckers. Right there in plain sight, right there in daylight. What is the fucking point of being a cop in full cop garb if you're not going to do cop shit? Hopefully Jon Stewart just runs for president and saves us all. Maybe Roosevelt gonna save us all. Mama got sick, daddy got down. County got the farm and we moved to town. Something with the TV8. A washing machine and then a Chevrolet. Singing song of the South. Sweet potato pie and shut my mouth. Gone with the wind.